Gig. What was my first gig? It was, well, there's two. It's a toss up between Stiff Little Fingers at the Rainbow, which I was 14 and I had a sort of a Saturday, I had a weekend job washing up glasses in a working men's club. And I made friends with the Pop Boys, and there was a guy called Richard I made friends with, and we went to Stiff Little Fingers together, two little spotty 14-year-olds, and I was absolutely blown away, and that was it for me. We were meant to sit in the seats on the upper circle. No. Everybody was stood up, and as fast as the security were going around trying to get us all to sit down, they'd get one side of the auditorium to sit down and the other side would be standing up, and it was just like, then they'd rush to the other side and we were just like, yeah, this is great, you know, we're kind of doing our own thing here. But the passion that Jake Burns sang with just really made an impact. I went on to see them a few years later, maybe a good 10-20 years later, and it didn't have quite the same impact. But having said that, I've seen them fairly recently, and I do think he's got his mojo back. I do think that now that, you know, I saw them at Rebellion a couple of years ago, and yeah, I really enjoyed them. One of the other bands I saw was Madness, whether you call them punk or not. You know, I mean, Two Tone was around at the same time, big influence. And I was 15. I went to the under 16s concert at Hammersmith Odeon, I think it was at the time.
It was. I took my little brother to that.
You went to it as well?
No, I took him and I stayed out.
Yeah. So you probably remember then, Gerard, that on the underpass on the way there, the skinheads of the day were lurking underneath, beating people up, and we saw quite a few people coming towards us from the underpass, covered in blood. And being 15 and quite fragile, we decided that it was a safer bet to cross the very busy dual carriageway than to go under the underpass and be a target for skinheads. So we took our chances with the traffic and survived. Here I am. And again, another blinding concert. Nobody sat in their seats. Everybody just really, which sounds really lame now, or nobody sat in their seats, but that was a time where people did as they were told. You know, if you said sit down, you sat down. If you were told, you know, don't chew gum, you didn't chew gum. So just those little small acts of rebellion, which these days is nothing, you know. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah, so those two really stick in my mind.